So you want to be big, you want a power fish? Spirale. Oh, you want a frog? Spirale. You want a punch? Spirale. Did I say spirale? Small and less.
Light
and finesse. What are you talking about? Talking about my new baby boys?
All right, how about 10 I don't seconds? Even stare into my wife's eyes for a minute. All right. You want me to stare into his eyes, huh? No.
See, it's all about fun. It's all about fun.
Okay, we come on in. Who came up with Spirale?
Al. Everybody else talking about kissing babies and hugging mamas. I do it different. I hug the babies and I kiss the mamas.
That's there you go, there you go.
It's just a joke, just a joke.
Thanks, guys. So we've got Brent Chapman, Cliff Crochet, and they all seem to know a thing or two about fishing and about fishing rods. But which rod is going to be right for you? From the Speed Demon Pro rod, from its 19 different technique-specific agility and differences, to the world of power fishing and the new breed and new technologies featured in the Spirale. So in this video, we're going to take an in-depth look and see which one of these rods is going to work best for you. And hopefully, you'll be able to make a decision on your next KastKing rod purchase.
Bingo!
Alright, so for the sake of the video, I have a Speed Demon Pro rod. And it is a 7-11 punching stick. Guys, this thing, God, every time I pick up a Speed Demon Pro, I'm just impressed. I mean, true wind grips. God, we'll get into it, guys. But this is probably one of the best rods ever made. It's phenomenal. So, how do you top it? Or do you top it? It's arguable. Well, KastKing has come out with a different version. Now, this is truly a power fishing stick, and we're going to get into that, and that's kind of how we're going to do our comparison. But there's a lot of different things to be said here. Here's the new one. The new KastKing Spirale. Now, this thing has been pronounced several different ways, from Spirale, Spirale, Spirale. The correct pronunciation is Spirale. But you're going to see us, and my apologies, quite a few people. It's tough because it's a French word because of spiral. So it gets confused a lot. Forgive us, we're human, but you're going to hear a lot of people, and it'll probably be said in the future a lot, Spirale. But it's supposed to be pronounced Spirale. Well, let's get into it. This version here is a 7'8". So really, to compare apples to apples, but these are kind of apples and oranges, but they're still fruit. So we're going to compare them if you want to argue that effect. So we're going to compare some serious power rods for power fishing. That's pretty much what the Spirale is designed off of. Speed Demon Pros, well, obviously, we've got some serious power fishing models in the Speed Demon Pros. But we're going to break down to what each one of these offer and take a look at it so it can help you decide which one of these rods is going to be right for you. Maybe you want both different models. Maybe you only want to be a Speed Demon Pro guy. Maybe you want to be a Spirale gal. Who knows? There's a lot of things to be said about both of these rods. So let's get into it and let's start talking. All right, straight out of the gate, the KastKing Speed Demon Pro rod. Guys, this is an amazing, amazing rod. You have a multi-directional elite carbon blank. So this beautiful blank here, and let me say, this thing weighs like nothing. It feels so light. It's almost like you're holding air in your hands. It's crazy. So, but this is seriously got the backbone, and it's a beast in a punching setup. But it is a multi-direction elite carbon blank, guys. This thing is using Terray carbon that is amazingly strong, super lightweight, very versatile. But this certain setup here, the punching 711, this is a beast. This thing is monstrous, but it does not weigh monstrous amounts of weight. It's very lightweight. It almost makes you think there's no way this rod is going to be powerful enough to do the type of punching and techniques that I'm going to do with it. Well, you're incorrect. It superbly is, while yet being very sensitive, lightweight, and nimble. So with that said, it's also featuring in nano resins. So this is a multi-directional carbon blank, right? And when you're laying your different carbon fiber blanks and different carbon material layers to this, you get these gaps, right? These gaps. Excuse the hands. I'm a technician. But anyways, you get these gaps, and those gaps can mean weak spots. You know, see the gaps in there and different things like that. So they have to fill some kind of a bonding agent in there that will actually fill those voids and those gaps. That's where nano resins come in. Nano resins, superb and beautiful for that kind of thing. Superbly strong, but they're very expensive. Well, in the Speed Demon Pro, you are seeing our nano resins being used, which is going to greatly strengthen the rod, greatly increase the sensitivity while keeping your weight down. Well, that sensitivity and that strength is increased by up to 30%. Now, we also see that we have the true wind grips on here. The Speed Demon Pro is using a wind grip system. This is a golf style grip system that we saw. Very awesome, very tacky, feels good in dry conditions as well as wet conditions. These things are tournament proven, tournament quality. You guys are going to see that these are probably going to be some of your favorite handles you've ever used. We just know that they're great. Now, Speed Demon Pro rod here, this system here is utilizing Fuji components. And these are high-end, top-of-the-line, only the best and only the finest Fuji components being used in the Speed Demon Pro. So you have a high-end Fuji reel seat, very strong, very sensitive. Still has a little cutout here for you to hold your finger and feel all the little sensations on that blank being translated through the tip. And then, of course, we're moving down to the Fuji guide system, as you can see here. Beautiful guide system, Fuji components. Now, on the KastKing series, as shown here, we're using a Fuji LN guide, and on a spinning rod system, you're going to be able to see those in a Fuji LN. Both of those using alkanite rings, which are some of the finest rings on the market. They are fantastic for all different kinds of lines, such as fluorocarbon, monofilament, especially braid. They are great for noise reduction, vibration reduction. They're very smooth. They stand up to heat, all kinds of different things. They are going to take it. So those alkanite rings are an excellent choice. So those are some of the things that you can look for and know that you're getting in the Speed Demon Pro series. Now, where it starts to set apart from the Spirale rod, the Speed Demon Pros are offered in 19 different technique-specific models. From the Punchin 711, like you see here, there's 19 different models, from drop shot to bladed jig to spinnerbait to crankbait, which, might I add, when you get into crankbait and some of your other finessing style stuff, you'll see that you actually have a lightweight composite rod being utilized, like I said, in those crankbait rods that is actually an S-glass and a graphite composite rod. So 19 different models to really dive in and give you exceptional sensitivity and exceptional action. 19 different models in the Speed Demon Pro. Whew, that's insane. That's crazy. You guys are definitely going to be able to finally tune in to the exact option and exact model that you want for the different types of techniques that you're going to be doing with your Speed Demon Pro series, guys. Myself, well, I know that you can do quite a bit. I don't have all 19 different technique-specific rods. You can actually get, like, say, the Carolina rig rod and the spinnerbait rod and so on and so forth, and really put those to work for a multitude of different techniques. You do not have to dial them in to just the one technique that is specifically written here. You can kind of get familiar with the rod and implement its different styles for different techniques. But KastKing did design it with, they figured out, okay, this exact model right here would be perfect for punching. But you can use it in different applications. You do not have to stick to just punching. So that is the Speed Demon Pro. Let's give it a review. True wind grips, as you can see here. You have a split handle, of course, a wind grip here. Now you also have the high-end, finest Fuji reel seat and Fuji components, and Fuji guides, LN and LV guides being used both with alkanite rings. Nanotechnology, this is a beautiful Terray blank. Guys, you will not be going wrong at all when you choose the Speed Demon Pro. Now, one thing to mention before I go to the Spirale rod, right here, it has a hook holder. Now, that's going to be a conversation we're going to have in a minute. This hook holder is just below in this area, away from your hand, but it's down here. Some hook holders are found on some models up here. Let's move into the Spirale rod. and keep going straight into our conversation. The Spirale, first thing out of the gate, we'll just jump right into it, does not have a hook holder. It doesn't have it at all, anywhere. Why? Why did KastKing do such a thing when there's so popular hook holders aren't even offered on this rod? Well, that's a touchy subject. Some people adore hook holders. Some love them. Some like them down here. Some like them up there. Some hate them up here. Some hate them right here. Well, some people don't like them at all and would rather just latch their hook or whatever kind of bait to the front of their baitcaster. Well, in the designing of this, Cliff Crochet, who had a very, very, very big impact in the design of this system, Spirale rod, told our engineers, I don't want a hook holder at all on the rod. That was his request, almost a demand, if you will. So what Cliff wants, Cliff gets. No hook holder. What are your thoughts? Are you a no hook holder kind of person? Or are you a I need a hook holder kind of person? For me, I've seen the benefits and the problems from both. From down here, it can be argued that you can get your hand and snagged on a hook. Up here, rod socks. Rod sock comes down and you get a treble in a rod sock, and that's irritating. Well, it can be argued to have it down here or up here or not at all. What kind of person are you? Well, in the Spirale series, they don't offer one. You will not get a hook holder. Food for thought. So let's get into the Spirale rod. We see that it does not have a hook holder. Now, what it does have is a Terray high strength, and this is a new carbon material from Terray. It is a high modulus carbon material and a true IM8, very high modulus carbon material being used in this and giving you a real true IM8 blank. This is a superb elite blank, and of course, like we saw in the Speed Demon Pro rods, this is also being strengthened with the same nanotechnology. Anytime you have those fibers, those layers, nano resins are some of the best resins you can put to strengthen this rod while keeping weight reduced. Now, this rod, it's a 7/8. But when I hold it next to the Speed Demon Pro, it feels a little bit more robust, more heavier. Now, I don't want that to be mistaken with, okay, maybe the use of the word robust and heavier isn't the best choice of words, but I don't know how to describe it. But when you hold this next to a Speed Demon Pro, you're going to say, wow, I think this just feels heavier. But it's still not a heavy rod. It's very, very, very lightweight. In comparison to a Speed Demon Pro, it just feels a little bit heavier compared. They're both very light rods. So we have a new carbon material being used in this Terray True IM blank. It's an elite blank. It is being reinforced and sealed with the nano resin like we see in the Speed Demon Pro. Now, we have American Tackle components being used in this application, as you can see by the upside down, and I apologize, American Tackle logo there. This is actually the G2 Edge reel seat from American Tackle. This is a very beefy, beastly reel seat. Now, you have the blank being opened here, as well as a blank being exposed here. Now, you might feel a little bit more sensation, I don't know, but I know that I prefer a rod, and it's also seen on the Speed Demon Pro with that open design here. I like to be able to feel that blank. So whenever I do get any kind of a sensation from a fish, I can feel it, and it helps me with early strikes. So we have the nano resin technology being used to strengthen while keeping weight to a minimum. But the really big kicker on this thing, we saw that we've got the American Tackle G2 Edge reel seats that are super strong. Once you plant this reel down inside of it, it's going to stay there, and you know that you're going to have the ability to set the hook and retrieve that beastly fish, especially in these new models. And I'm going to tell you a little more about those in a minute. But another thing we're going to see is the microwave air guides being used. Now, this is an American Tackle microwave air guide. It's kind of hard. I'm trying to get it in camera here. It's a beautiful design, pretty neat microwave air guide system being used here. On these microwave air guides from American Tackle, these are such a cool new generation, new wave type of engineering in a guide system with American Tackle. These are actually featuring a Duralite ring, which is similar to some of the performance and same concepts as you're going to be wanting in your Fuji guides with the alkanite ring is going to be exceptional for braid, as well as your plastic lines like monofilament and fluorocarbon. These are just an awesome, awesome setup. Now, one thing you're going to notice, now I'm going to pull this straight. I'm not going to rotate the rod, but as we pull down, you start to notice this second guide is off to the side. Pull back a little more, and it's even rolling under. You come back farther, and now you can't see any guides. Now, if I pull forward without rotating the rod, we're back on top. So what it is we have a spiral wrapped guide. What that's going to do is as your line's coming off in a wave, it hits this first wave guide, this American Tackle guide, and it straightens it out, smooths it, and reduces that crazy flop as it's coming off the reel. But now with the actual spiral design, the line actually starts to transition off to the side over here. And then the spiral design will actually pull it under and get the line underneath the rod on the bottom section. So on a casting rod, when your rod starts to flex, now your line is actually sitting and resting on top of the rod. Well, with the microwave air guides first being used on the Spirale rod and the spiral wrap, it pulls it underneath the rod and corrects that and makes for a smoother design and a smoother option in casting, retrieving. It takes all that stress off the actual rod and the line and makes it for a better retrieve. We also see that in this design, we've got the G2 Edge reel seat. We've got the microwave tackle air guides, or we have the American Tackle microwave air snagless guide system with Duralast rings and the spiral wrap design. That's a phenomenal design. That's pretty cool. But we also have, Cliff wanted the highest grade of AAA cork handles, split handle with an EVA fighting butt. Very comfortable, great, and in wet and dry conditions. Do you like a cork handle over a wind grip system, as we see in the Speed Demon Pro? I like them both. I didn't used to be a big cork handle kind of person until KastKing really introduced me into the AAA cork. I've definitely become a fan of it now. But I also love the wind grip system, and don't get me wrong, a thick EVA grip is also great too. But in these models, you have high-end wind grips and high-end AAA cork. So one thing to be said about the new Spirale rods. Now, as we see here, this is a true IM8 blank. Now, there is only 5 different models offered in the new KastKing Spirale rod. You've got, as shown here, the 7'8", and this is a very heavy, fast, powerful power fishing model. Well, all of the models are of that nature, very heavy, very strong, very powerful models. There are actually 2 models being offered that are actually a really neat graphite 70-30 complex composite blank designed for different power fishing techniques. So if you're going to be choosing the 2 different models that is actually a 70-30% complex composite that is also featuring S-Class, you're going to find a little bit different action, a little bit more flex for some of those different types of fishing, and say like moving baits, throwing a swim bait, throwing a big spinner bait, throwing whopper ploppers, things like that. You're going to want to be using the 70-30 composites. But like I said, there's only 5 different options as opposed to the Speed Demon Pro being offered in 19 different options. But this design, the Spirale design, is designed with power fishing in mind, aggressive power fishing. So if you're looking to seriously finesse fish, the Spirale, well, it wasn't quite designed for that. The Speed Demon Pro definitely has models that are. Now, if you're looking to get aggressive out there, do some serious flipping, pitching, punching, throwing Alabama rigs, throwing big swim baits, and getting monstrous out there, the Spirale is definitely a rod. Serious frogging, oh my Lord, this thing is going to be a beast for those kind of techniques. But you can also find those kind of rods in the Speed Demon Pro. So let's review. What do we have in both models? In the Spirale model, we have a true IM8 high Touray carbon blank, or you have a 70-30 complex composite, We have the American Tackle G2 reel seats, and this is the G2 Edge. Very strong, very powerful. When you lock your reel in here, you know it's not going anywhere. It has the spiral design with the guide system, featuring the microwave air guides with the Duralite rings being used in these guide systems. Now, one thing to be noted, whether you're right-handed or left-handed, the direction of the line pulling off and once you hook a fish is not going to dictate which way the rod rolls. This rod has been balanced, and you hook a fish, you're still going to be able to firmly, actually better, more aggressively, hold and control that rod. AAA cork handles and a split EVA fighting butt at the end. This is a beautiful system, spiral wrap guides, American Tackle, microwave air guide system with Duralite rings. Guys, this power fishing rod is just that, an amazing power fishing rod. 5 different models for crazy awesome power fishing. Now, the Speed Demon Pro models, well, true wind grip system. You actually have a hook holder on here. Fuji high-end components, only the finest Fuji components on the Speed Demon Pro's Fuji reel seat, which we all know is going to lock that reel in once you put a reel on here. You have the nano resins being featured in both. You also have an Elite Carbon Blank. You have Fuji LV and LN guides with alkanite rings, but 19 different technique-specific models. This is a power fishing model right here. So Speed Demon Pro does offer power fishing models, but you have 19 different choices to make on a rod. Is that a little too confusing for you? Maybe. Or maybe it's exactly what you need to get this specific action. Or you can choose between the 5 different power fishing models in the Spirale.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope this video helped you. I know that it's, God, this is a tough choice. I mean, if we're talking power fishing, I've got to say the undisputed king of heavy duty power fishing, in my opinion, is the Spirale rod. But that doesn't mean that the proven, tournament proven Speed Demon Pro isn't a beast in heavy duty, just massive power fishing. They are both excellent choices for power fishing. Now, where it's going to be the deciding point is, do you want a very lightweight, nimble power fishing rod, or are you one of the kind of people that wants a very heavy duty, robust, just strong, beefy kind of rod? That's what you're going to find, but still lightweight. Not as lightweight as the Speed Demon Pro, but very lightweight for what it is in the Spirale. Do you like the new microwave guides in the spiral design and the AAA cork handles? Or are you hung on the fact that you need somewhere to hang your bait? The fact that the Spirale doesn't have a hook holder and the Speed Demon Pro does, maybe that's a deciding factor for you. Guys, either choice, from the Speed Demon Pro with its Fuji high-end components, nano resin technology found on both rods, it's a tough choice, but you're gonna have to make one. Or, like I always say in all the videos, you could just buy them both. But if you got to, and you can only pick one, I hope this video helped you decide which one of these power fishing models is right for you. But if you're looking for tons of different options, 19 different techniques for very fine-tuning your fishing style, Speed Demon Pro's got you covered. If you're looking to swing for the fences and go hard and go hardcore, the Spirale just might be what you're after. Well, guys, I hope this video narrowed some things down for you, and if you're gonna choose the Speed Demon Pro, you can get them at Amazon.com and KastKing.com. But if you're after the new spiral rod or the Spirale from KastKing, that's a Tackle Warehouse exclusive. Guys, I'm AJ Gore, and I'll see you on my next comparison video.